All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Morning, y'all. Welcome to Rev 1211 Life, where we are in the locked up in the Word. We're in the book of Ephesians, going through chapter 1 right now. And what we're going to talk about is we're on chapter 5 right now. And that's talking about some of those blessings that we talked about from heavenly places. They said I named about 9 of them. So verse 5 is going to talk about a couple of more right now. So join me today as we break down verse 5 in chapter 1. And it's telling us here that, I'll just read 4 first. It says, just as he chose us, we talked about being chosen, chose us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him, having predestined us to adoption as sons by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. So this is chock full of good stuff for us to know. I'm going to stay on 2 words that we need to really think about today. And those 2 words are predestined and adoption. As far as predestined, when you hear that, I want to explain that God has predestined all of the children, all that he has created, to worship him and to have relationship with him. And this is very important to know. God, the love that God provides us, he doesn't make us love him. He's predestined us to do that, but he's left that choice up to us. So that's a very important distinction to know, that he has left the decision to have relationship with him up to us. There's also, we talk about adoption. A lot of people, they may have some different connotations, because a lot of times adoption used to take place only because it would benefit you in some way. Like in the first century and back then, kings and emperors, they used to adopt other people's children, because a lot of times in war times, they would kill the king's children so that their legacy, so their rule would end. But the king or emperor would adopt other children so that they would make them family, so that their legacy and their rule would continue. But there's something about God and his adoption of us. He's not adopting us because he needs us. He's adopting us because he loves us. He doesn't need anything from us. So he's pulled us to him in adoption. So there's a main difference I want you to know about adoption as far as that's concerned. You're part of the family. Now, when you adopt someone, outside your family, they don't always look like you, because you've adopted them and they weren't your natural born child. However, when we're adopted, you begin to take on the character. You begin to look like that person in the way you act, in the way you perform, the way you carry yourself, the things you begin to believe, the things that you do in life start to look like the person who adopted you. So if we've been adopted, and it tells us again, there's that word, in Christ. If we've been adopted in Christ, shouldn't we begin to start looking like him? Shouldn't we begin to look like Jesus after our adoption? Because before our adoption, we looked far from anything like Christ. But in our adoption as believers, we should begin to look like the Father who adopted us. And that's my prayer for you today, is to look at yourself, examine your heart, and just see, am I beginning to look like my adopted Father, the one who loved me so much, didn't need anything from me, but extended his grace? Am I beginning to look like him? And that's the question for today. But I'll leave you with that. We'll continue on with those blessings because there are a lot of them, and they're so powerful for us to know as we live this life. So hang in there, study Ephesians. I'm going to be doing the same, and I'll be coming back with a couple of more messages about the blessings that God has provided us through adoption. But God bless you. Take care. If you like the video, you share it, give me a like, whatever you want to do. But take care, and I'll talk to you soon. God bless you.